Wrestling. It's guest commentator day, and joining me here today, Mr. Wrestling himself, Vince Torrelli. Vince Torrelli, it's good to have you back. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and I'm glad to be back here with all these great fans and this great wrestling.
How are the injuries? Do you feel like you're 100%?
Yeah, you know, I come back pretty strong. I'm a quick healer, and all I got to say is that the people that did this to me, the stud stable, they've got some things coming.
Well, they may have broke your face, but they certainly did not break your heart. And right here today, wrestling fans, before your very eyes, return for the South Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as the new champion, #1 Paul Jones, puts all the marbles on the line against the former champion, the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. What kind of condition is Jones in? Is he ready to go?
Jones is in his tip-top shape, and all I got to say is that Fuller, he's out. He's out to get him, and they better be ready to go.
Ranger Ross squares off one-on-one with the U.S. male Curtis Thompson, and in a tag team excitement, you, Vince Torrelli, team with War Eagle Chris Chavis to face the Pit Bulldogs, and I know you've been looking forward to this one.
Oh, yeah, it's time for me to get a little even, you know. I'm just very excited to be back, and all I got to say is when I get in the ring, they didn't name me Mr. Wrestling for nothing. I get in, and I'm going to get the job done along with my partner, Chris Chavis, and also Ranger Ross has got a good match coming up, but he's in tip-top shape himself.
Well, there it is, wrestling fans. Mr. Wrestling Vince Torrelli going to be with me. We've got an exciting hour in plan right now. Let's go to the ring for our first match on South Atlantic Championship Wrestling. This is one big man coming to the ring. 6'7", 300-plus pounds. What do you know about him, Vincent? He is a monster, isn't he?
You know, he's a big man indeed. I guess we're going to have to see what he can do.
Let's go to the ring right now on Guerrilla Radio's Kilgo for the introduction.
Now entering the ring, weighing in at 301 pounds from Texas, Tex Salenger. His opponent from Columbia, South Carolina, at 235 pounds, Butch, Malone.
You know, Vince, a lot of people say a lot of things about Robert Fuller, but this Robert Fuller, he sure is careful in bringing this big Texan along. Every week we watch him, you see him wrestle. He's wrestling boys that I feel like he can take, and there's another case with this Butch Malone. It's a man who has little or no reputation against this big Tex Salenger. He sure wants him to shine on this TV, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. You know, Robert Fuller's a man that's been out looking for people to join his stable, and he's picking matches. He's hand-picking them, so his guys get some practice before they go against, you know, some of the and Vince Torrelli's and Chris Chavis's.
A big power move there. Speaking of being in the stable, we got the third man in the ring tonight, the infamous Tennessee referee. And, you know, I was talking about this with your mentor, Vince, Paul Jones, the other evening. I don't think in all my wrestling career I have ever seen a man own his own referee.
Well, you know, Fuller, he's been out getting things going for himself, and that's why we formed our little group together with me and Chavis and Jones and Ranger Ross and myself.
You're talking about Jones's Ranger.
Jones's Ranger, you bet, because we're going to keep some control in this organization.
Well, contrary to your style, we're seeing a lot of big, aggressive moves. Not a lot of wrestling right here. As big Tex Salenger, you see the percussion moves, a big size 12 of under the chin. Vince, you didn't see a lot of this when you were wrestling in the Olympic trials. I know, but in the tough man competitions, I'm sure you ran up against people with this type of style and this type of tactic.
Yes, you know, he's a big man indeed, and, well, let's just put it this way. When his tactics, he has a winning record behind him, not the kind of style that I like to see, but he does have a winning record.
Well, he does have that, and Leroy Ramsey, the Tennessee referee, so far, each time we've seen him, Vince, calling things right down the middle. Now, you've got an exciting match, an important match, you and War Eagle Chris Chavis. As look at this. I've seen this before. Watch this, Vince. Oh, a bulldog from the second rope. I don't know exactly what you call it, but goodness gracious, 300 pounds spells disaster for Butch Malone. Referee called it 1, 2, 3. We'll be back with more wrestling excitement right after these important messages. Jones putting all the marbles on the line against the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller, the former champion. I'm Frank Dusek, with me, Mr. Wrestling Vince Torrelli. And Vince, I know you're excited about this one.
Oh, I'm really excited about this. And, you know, 2 weeks ago, Robert Fuller in his stable, Jones took the belt from Fuller, and right after that, they ganged up on him and hit him with Fuller's old guitar. Well, I know this is real personal for Paul Jones, and I'm very glad to be sitting here ringside to see old Jones defend his belt.
Personal indeed, and not only you, but all of Jones's Rangers, as I'm sure the stud stable is somewhere off in the wings watching. And Chavis, Torrelli, Ross, they're all at ringside. Right now, though, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for action, so let's go to the ring and get our ring announcer, Kilgo.
From Houston, Texas, the North American heavyweight champion, number 1, Paul Jones. His opponent, weighing in at 247 pounds from Nashville, Tennessee, the Tennessee Stud, Robert Fuller.
And Fuller, cocky as ever, looks like he is ready. Paul Jones, there's no doubt in anybody's mind, Vince, that Paul is ready.
Yeah, you know, Paul Jones, he's in there, he's like a cat, boy. He gets in there and he throws moves on you that you don't even see coming.
Big stuff on the X, Larry. Ajax couldn't take off, could he?
No. Oh, he blocks that one.
Anyway, we are underway. Referee calling for the clean break, and I'll tell you, you better not get in front of that Paul Jones. Speaking of Paul Jones, tonight, Vince, tonight in Lumberton, the hometown of Chris Chavis, wrestling excitement coming. I know Chris is excited about it. If Chris is excited, Jones is Rangers excited, and they'll all be there, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, we're all excited about that. Well, look at this, Jones. I mean, Jones is really mad, and he's going to go for Fuller. He's really going to take Fuller apart, I believe.
Well, as you know, Vince, one of the tactics that Fuller employs, and he is probably one of the masters at it, is that stall. He will irritate you. He will frustrate you. He will foil you, not with wrestling ability, although the man has it. He is a second-generation wrestler, but he foils you with his ring tactics and his stalling. He picks that point, but when he moves like a cat.
Yeah, you know, some people have different tactics, like Fuller, you know, right there, just like that. He likes to pull that hair, and he likes to stall and get the referee's attention, and do things that to cut a little bit of corners, where some of us just go for some holds and different things like that.
And here he is once again complaining about a hair pull. Referee on Paul Jones about it. Of course, it wasn't seen, but it's very, very difficult in this championship match. Referee trying to stay down the middle, but this is Fuller's tactic. He will frustrate you. He will complain to the referees. Now, he surrounds himself, Vince, in contrast, with men like Tex Salenger, like the Pit Bulldogs, like Matt Borne, like Curtis Thompson, men who have a much more physical style. But Fuller, he prides himself in being the brains, if there is any such thing as that, of the stud stable.
Well, you know, Fuller, he is definitely very smart when he's in the ring, and by him doing this stud stable thing, he's got more people behind him, whereas he doesn't have to take all the work himself.
Well, I don't know. Referee taking Fuller at his word quite a bit. That referee, of course, Leroy Ramsey, he's taking Fuller at his word, admonishes Jones once again. By the way, tomorrow, Sunday at 3 o'clock, Gastonia, the old National Guard Armory. I know you're excited about going to Gastonia.
Oh, real excited about Gastonia. You know, there's great fans down there, and I hope to see him out there when we get in the ring.
Once again, the veterans lock up. Jones with a reverse the hip toss. Fuller up over top. A right hand stops Fuller coming in. A second right hand, and the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, flat on his back in the middle of the ring and heading for the floor.
Oh, Jones, you know, like I said in the beginning of the match, you know, this is a personal thing. You know, the stud stable hitting him with the guitar when he took the title from Fuller, and you know, Jones is going to do everything he can to hold that title, and it's very personal between him and Fuller.
Well, not only the guitar, Vince, but you know, there's been the problem last week. Of course, Ranger Ross tied up and beat by the Pit Bulldogs. He's okay. As a matter of fact, he's back and will be in our next match against Curtis Thompson.
Well, you know, we're all mad about that. You know, any time that one of our Ranger Rosses get beat like that, you know, me and Chavis came in and helped him out a little bit, but we're real upset about that. And when we get our hands on the Bulldogs, me and Chavis, we're going to get some revenge.
And of course, in your mind, and it got to be in the back of your mind, is the time you spent in the hospital, the injuries to the face. I know you said earlier in the show that you're okay and you heal real good, but as we see Tennessee stud going to work there, but I know it's in the back. Happened to you.
Yeah, it is the back of my mind, and yeah, you know, I will remember that when I get in the ring.
Right now, Paul Jones in trouble. The Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, a big right hand to the forehead. Fuller going to work. Jones, a forearm across, but Fuller continues to fight.
Oh, what is that? He just pushed the referee, just pushed him out of the way.
Well, the referee going to admonish him, I think, a little out of line there. Of course, he's been down the line and down the middle, and Paul was breaking the rules, but...
Yeah, but, you know, you got to stay down that line. Oh, there goes a 2 count.
talking about wrestling coming up, I know you're excited too. We all are. The first fundraiser ever in the city of Charlotte, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system, coming up here next Tuesday in Harding, at Harding High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. You know, Vince, we do the fundraisers all over the states in North and South Carolina, and I know you love meeting the kids, but it's special for us to be able to finally get into the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system.
Yeah, you know, anytime there's a fundraising thing for the kids and stuff like that, I'm very glad to be a part of it, Frank.
Well, it's the athletic department. The student council is Paul Jones fighting back. Whoa! The referee hooked his arm, and Robert Fuller taking advantage with a right hand of his own.
Oh, I don't know. That looks kind of funny to me.
Well, I don't know what to say myself, to be quite honest with you. Right now, Fuller going to work. Oh, now wait a minute. That's a little strong.
Frank, what's he doing there?
I'm not sure, Vince.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Fuller telegraphing a big backdrop, and here comes Paul Jones, fist and fire. Whoa. Paul Jones, I'm not sure what to say. Fuller's referee for the first time showing a definite amount of partisanship.
This is confusing, Frank.
I'm not often lost for words, but I certainly am right now as Paul Jones taking on referee and Robert Fuller. Fuller sent for the ride into the turnbuckle a second time, staggering out into the turnbuckle for a third time at number one. Oh, no.
Whoa.
He's got him hooked. He's on the ropes. No. Referee hasn't seen it or refused to see it. Oh, no, the title.
Hey, this just makes me so mad, you know.
Oh,
Jones is getting on him, and the referee's pushing him back.
Holy mackerel. I guess it's official. Referee has called it. He's called the winner. I guess your new champion, the Tennessee Stud, Robert Fuller.
No.
South Atlantic Championship Wrestling excitement comes to Statesville, North Carolina.
You know, I'm just really upset about what just happened with Fuller and Jones' match. You know, all the fans see what happened. We see what happened, Frank. This is ridiculous. I'm going to go to the officiating board. I'm going to find out where they got this guy and how they got him. That's ridiculous.
Well, I realize that, and I agree with you 100%.
No, I just ain't going to stand for that. We're going to get something done about this. We're going to get it done now.
From Athens, Georgia, weighing in at 238 pounds, Ranger Ross.
This match, ladies and gentlemen, Ranger Ross against Curtis Thompson. And Vince, I agree with you 110%. I mean, it was obvious that the officiating man had been down the line. Leroy Ramsey, whatever his name is, been down the line and square. But he definitely was not square right there. I know that the referee can't see everything all of the time.
Yeah, Frank, you know, everybody saw that. It's just ridiculous.
Let's go to the ring for the announcements.
His opponent, weighing in at 252 pounds, from Newland, North Carolina, the U.S. male, Curtis Thompson.
Well, another stud stable member. You know, if there is one dark spot on the horizon for Robert Fuller, it seems to be, Vince, the animosity that exists between Matt Borne and this man right here, the U.S. male Curtis Thompson.
You know, that's true. There's a lot. Well, look at Curtis Thompson. He's got a great build, and I think there's a little jealousy between Matt Borne himself.
Well, let's hear what Matt Borne has to say about the U.S.
I've never tried to undermine, I've never questioned one thing Robert Fuller has ever done. But I'm telling you, he's made a mistake when it comes to bringing Curtis Thompson to the stud stable. He's from the Carolinas, and he's a loser. And Thompson, I'm watching you. And when you mess up and show your true colors, don't say, I didn't tell you so.
Well, like I say, if there is any kind of dark cloud on the horizon of the stud stable right now, and I don't know how there could be, they've got the South Atlantic Tag Team Champions in the form of the Pit Bulldogs, and now I guess they've got the South Atlantic Heavyweight Championship back in the form of Robert Fuller. And
well, you know, you and I and the fans know that somehow or another that the referee should not have been in there. You know, I don't think he even went to the school that he was supposed to be going to. Because the way we look at it, they didn't have a school for him.
All I can say in defense is he is a licensed referee. Now, that much, I mean, I made sure of that. He does have a license. He is a licensed referee.
Well, where's he from? Tennessee?
Yeah, well, I can't argue with it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Vince. He's got the license, and he's permitted to referee. Now, he did show a certain amount of bias. And in any event, in the ring right now, Ranger Ross against Curtis Thompson, and we've got Jones's Rangers in the form of Ross, and Thompson is the form of the stud stable.
Well, you know, Ross is coming back from a beating from the Bulldogs, and he seems to be in real good shape. I talked to him earlier, and he says he's raring, ready to go.
Well, the edge in size and strength, I think, going to Curtis Thompson. The edge in experience and intensity, no doubt, going to Ranger Ross. As they move in, collar and elbow, it's Thompson, a series of knees to the midsection. Ross sent in for the ride across the ropes. Hip toss. No, a blocked hip toss. He's got his
It's over.
backside. 1, 2.5. Holy mackerel. Ross, the experience right there, moving in, blocking the hip toss, shooting in for the backslide. I know you love that kind of wrestling, Vince.
Oh, that's, Ross's experience. He's got that martial arts background, and also he was in the service, too, as one of those forces, and he's a very strong force to ring against Curtis Thompson. He's going to slick him and wrestle with him.
Well, that's exactly what you've got to do with a man as big and powerful as Curtis Thompson. Ranger Ross and Curtis Thompson both a part of the big match coming to Statesville next Thursday, and the Grace Park Recreation Center, and also the weekend of fundraisers down in South Carolina, as once again Curtis Thompson moved in a series of rights to the face.
Well, Ross is very experienced here, and there's a leapfrog.
A second leapfrog over top, and arm drag coming out across. Thompson coming to the other side, trying to avoid the hip toss. Ranger Ross in mid-stroke just very quickly used the man's speed and size. It took him right over top, man.
Well, I'm glad to see that there's a different referee in there, too. It seems to be a little more straight here.
Well, that's weighing heavy on your mind, as I'm sure it is all the fans here. What just happened? We just saw, as you did, ladies and gentlemen, sitting at home, the South Atlantic Heavyweight Championship stripped from Paul Jones.
Stolen.
By what seems to be, what is, I believe, very biased refereeing. Holy
we got to sit here, Frank, and we've got to look and commentate on these matches here and try and be unbiased. But some of these tactics, you just can't be unbiased about them. You got to call them the way you see them.
Well, that's what we're here for, is call them whether we see them. Want to say a special hello, Vince, to our good friend Tom Redmond of Johnsonville Rescue Squad last Saturday night down there. What a great time. They made themselves some money, and also a special thanks to Senator Yancey McGill of Kingstree. Senator McGill, quite an old classmate of mine from the Citadel. Down there, for the tribute to the Vietnam veterans and the fundraiser for the Johnsonville Rescues.
Yeah, we'd like to thank all of them for sure, and they had a good time.
We sure did. As in control with a full arm drag and twist is Ranger Ross, driving that elbow into the point.
After seeing what I saw with Jones, I like what I'm seeing now.
Well, I know you do, Vince. I know you do.
Me and Curtis had a thing a couple weeks ago where he come out and I started to trust him, and he cheeks on him.
He kind of slicked you a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he has that face, that you want to trust him. I mean, he's a nice, good-looking, very personable young man. He doesn't fit in at all. I know Director of Operations George Scott Jr. and I were talking about it last week on the air. He doesn't fit in at all in personality with Borne and Salenger and the Pit Bulldogs. And he hasn't gotten, the Bulldogs, I mean, they changed 180 degrees when they got under the influence of Fuller. But this young man here just hasn't seemed, his personality hasn't seemed to change. He just doesn't seem to fit in.
No, he's a very tough competitor, and he's got good style of wrestling. He stays with the rules a little bit. There's sometimes he takes some shortcuts where I don't think is necessary.
Well, you're looking at an old fox here. I used to take him on occasion, but then I didn't have the wrestling ability or the size and strength that some of you young men do have. Look at here, Matt Borne come down to ringside.
What's this? Matt Borne coming down. Well, maybe we got to change it. Maybe Matt Borne's thinking twice about this. He's going to help his partner out.
Well, the stud stable over and across. Borne, a hook up. Borne, No, Thompson's not moving in. Over Thompson, down and across, and Matt Borne hooking the foot. Ranger Ross down and in trouble, and Curtis Thompson refusing to take advantage of it.
What's this? What are they saying?
I can't hear the argument, but it seems to be over Matt Borne's interference in the match. Curtis Thompson thinking he has the ability to do it.
Well, Curtis doesn't like that interference. Don't seem like he wants all the glory himself.
Well, I'm not sure what it is, but it's just a continuing thing. Next weekend, the /1 fundraiser, South Atlantic Wrestling, coming to Bishopville, South Carolina at the high school. Look at here, Oklahoma Hayride, small package, 1, 2, 2 and 7 8, and that veteran Ranger Ross shooting it. Here we are again, one more time. The argument ensuing with Ross, schoolboy from behind, 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Ranger Ross taking advantage of the discontent of the camp of the stud stable to snatch a quick 1, 2, 3 over Curtis Thompson. Let's see it again in slow motion. Right here it was, Vince. You see him arguing over it. The schoolboy from behind. There's a 1, 2, 3, and your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Ranger Ross. Now, let's go to the studs.
Okay, wrestling fans, now's your chance to join me as a member of the South Atlantic Pro Wrestling Fan.
Let the thing ride, because what we got is great news here. You see the belt here. This is the guy is from Carolina. You said to yourself, ain't nobody coming. Wait a minute. Don't you ever interfere in my match again, boy. Every day you cause me to get beat up here, and I don't like it. Because you do not be not the Don't you ever get in my match again.
Look at here, guys. Everything's doing good for the Sable now. The belt's back where it ought to be. You see the belt's back there. Big Tex is with us. You got to smooth it down. You got to lift it.
This time you touch me, and you ever interfere in my match again. And me, you're going to go down that side. Get out of here. Hey, boy, this Carolina boy can whoop your butt. And you understand me, baby? This Carolina boy can kick your butt any day of the week. Hey, okay, guys. Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
I'm going to show you who's got authority in this show. Borne, you're suspended. You're out of here. Keep on doing. I don't care. No stopping the North Carolina line. Not only is he out of here, oh, God, I'm in charge of these wrestling matches. And they're thinking, come on. Come on back to it one more time. Come on, I want you to. I'm in charge of this. Matter of fact, I'm so in charge of this thing. This is my stud stable, not yours. Listen to this, David. Okay, he's doing it back for it. Who wants to do it? Cut it off.
Each Buffalo.
35 pounds from Charlotte, North Carolina. Here is Ricky, the Dragon Steamboat. His opponent weighing 340 pounds from New York City. Here is Nasty Boy Knobs.
Folks, this is George Scott Jr. here with you, and this is in such a disarray right now after the stud stable. The whole set was tore up and everything. Frank's disappeared. He's back talking to one of the vice presidents of South Atlantic Wrestling, and we thought we'd just go ahead and play this tape. We've got Ricky Steamboat taking on Nasty Boy Knobs now, and this was taped earlier in Winston-Salem. It's going to be a real exciting match. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat has been in Japan now for about a week, and we'll be there now for a couple of more weeks. So we want to keep him on the show, and going to go ahead and show this tape of him so that you folks can keep up with him. Here's Frank Dusick now. Frank, did you get anything straight back there?
You let your bottom darn dollar. I got something straight. I got something straight, all right. What I got straight is that Maniac Matt Borne is gone. Capital G, capital O, capital N, capital E. He is out of here, and if they don't back me on this, I'm out of here, too. And you can take that one to the bank, George Scott.
Well, Frank, I don't have any problem with that. You saw the way that Matt Borne interfered in that match before, and now we've got a great athlete like Curtis Thompson, and there's no telling whether he'll be wrestling anymore. There's just no use for this kind of stuff on this show.
Well, let me set one thing straight. I don't really care about Curtis Thompson. I don't really care what kind of athlete. I don't care about much anything right now. But nobody is going to put their hands on the referees, and nobody's going to put their hands on me. And that's exactly what he did. As far as I'm concerned, if I never see Matt Borne's ugly face again, it's fine. But he's going to be out of here, and it's a lifelong suspension if I had anything to do with it. Now, I don't know about the board. I don't know how this board's going to react, but it's going to be a lifelong suspension if I get. What are we doing here anyway?
This is Steamboat against Nasty Boy Knobs. He's got him in an arm bar right now. It looks like he's got things under control.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It's intermission here in the building, and I'm fit to be tied.
That's okay, Frank. We'll take care of Matt Borne. I imagine along with that suspension, there'll be a heavy fine laid on him.
Yeah, there will.
And he'll have to pay that fine before we even talk about lifting that suspension. So you won't have any problem with Matt Borne for quite a while, I'm sure.
All right. Let's see. I know this match. Yeah, this was the match from Winston-Salem. What a match this was. Nasty Boy Knobs and Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat in control right here. Hey, George, you got a friend down in Greenville, don't you? At WYFF?
Fritzy Mumford. We'd like to say a special hello to her. She's a program manager at WYFF in Greenville, and We've had real good luck with her, helping us out on occasion, and we're going to be heading down to Greenville not too long from now, Frank.
That's exactly right. The #1 fundraiser. You know, we talk about our fundraisers all the time. We're coming to Wade Hampton High School on behalf of the wrestling team. You know, the coach down there, Coach Neal down there, and his boys got a whale of a wrestling program down there, and they're going to use South Atlantic Wrestling. They just bought one of these expensive amateur mats, and they need to pay for it.
Yeah.
So all you folks kind of watch your calendar. The date's coming. You'll hear us talking about it. We're going to be down at Wade Hampton High School in Greenville, raising money to pay for that wrestling mat. Then the next thing we want to have, he wants another one, pay for the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, Frank, when I was in high school, I wrestled amateurly, and we had a mat that we had to pay for, too. So it's just a great way. It's a whole lot better than going out and selling donuts, which is what we did.
Well,
a lot easier.
Ricky Steamboat, the big man, Nasty Boy Knobs, going to work. Steamboat in control through early on in the match, using his quickness, using his speed, using his wrestling knowledge. I mean, you're looking at a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a former WWF Intercontinental Champion. As a matter of fact, George, it seems like the only belt that ever eluded Ricky Steamboat that he set out to get is Robert Fuller. Maybe it's a matter of timing, maybe it's a matter of luck or whatever, but that South Atlantic Heavyweight Championship has seemed to have eluded him.
Well, usually whatever Steamboat sets his mind to, he's going to come up with it. Right now he's in Japan, and I know he's got his gym in Charlotte, North Carolina, Steamboat's gym. I work out there. A lot of the guys work out there. Chris Chavis works out there, and it's just a great gym, and I know he's concentrating a lot on that. But one of the things he has set his mind on is that South Atlantic Championship belt. But right now, you've got it real hot and heavy between Paul Jones and Robert Fuller, and I know that Paul's not going to be giving that belt up for long. That was just unbelievable what happened with that match. I don't believe we're going to be seeing that referee here very much longer. I'm sure we're going to be taking action towards him because there was just no call. He was completely unbiased or biased against Robert Fuller. And I saw it was a quick count. Fuller had his feet up on the ring. As soon as we can get it, we'll have a rematch because that is just unbelievable that happened.
Well, I don't know, George. I mean, I suppose it's possible that you didn't see it. And we got a whale of a battle going on in the ring right now between Ricky Steamboat and Nasty Boy Knobs. Steamboat, a series of chops coming back into that metal guardrail. Nasty Boy Knobs fighting him on his own turf right now, George Scott. But you are right. We're going to have to look into this whole situation just like we... I'm so frustrated I can't see straight.
Well, Frank, I'll tell you, right now we've got this match in the ring here, but it's real hard to keep our mind on this with all this other stuff happening. Last week we talked about it, and it was a triple main event. We had Robert Fuller and Paul Jones, Curtis Thompson and Ranger Ross, and the next match that we're going to have is the War Eagle, Chris Chavis and Vince Torrelli up against the Bulldogs. So it's just one full day full of main events that you get to see free on TV, and it's real hard to keep my mind on this tape of Ricky Steamboat and Nasty Boy Knobs.
Well, in case it slips my mind, George, I want to thank you for stepping in here. I try, as wrestling fans who have known me over the years, I try to maintain a certain amount of decorum in the announcer's situation here, and I'm glad you were here to step in and take over because I've gone and got me some clothes. Hell, my shirt's gone, my coat's gone. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen now. You know, we got the big fundraisers coming up next Saturday and Sunday down in Bishopville and Chester at the high school there in Bishopville for the athletic department, and in Chester on Sunday afternoon with the Athletic Booster Club. And with all that's going on, I tell you, those matches are becoming more and more important all the time. You know, everybody says, oh, it's the Greenvilles and the Columbias and the Charlottes and the Greensboros and the Winston-Salems that are the important matches. But the way things are happening now, every single match, I mean, Cherryville on the 29th and back to Spartanburg and Morganton coming up at the College Street Recreation Center. Every one of these matches now has added importance because of what's happened between Jones and Fuller, between the Rangers and the Stud Stable, and between Borne and Thompson and...
Some of these cards that are coming up, Frank, and I know you used to be in the ring, and maybe you can help out a little bit here because some of these cards that are coming up, I know some of the fans aren't too familiar with them. We've never had them in this area before. It's an 8-man elimination match. Why don't you explain to the people exactly what that match entails?
Well, the elimination match is probably one of the most unique matches you'll see, George, in that however many men there are on a team, in this case 4 men on each team. Each time a man is defeated, rather than it being a 2 out of 3 fall match or a 1 fall match, each time a member of a team is defeated, they must leave the ringside and go to the dressing room. So what that means is when you defeat a man, you get a 4-on-3 situation or a 3-on-2. theoretically, you could have...
Steamboat's coming back.
He sure is.
Steamboat's coming back.
That was a mistake.
Yep.
That was a mistake.
One
thing I can tell you about the
headbutt.
Nasty Boys is they got hard heads. But what you ideally want to end up with is a 2 or a 3 or even a 4-on-1 situation. And I'm sure in Paul Jones' mind, because Jones, you know, he's been around that cup looking for the handle more than once, as you see Nasty Boy Knobs working there. What they want to end up with is a 2 or a 3 or ideally a 4-on-1 situation with the Joneses Rangers singling out one member of the stud stable, ideally Robert Fuller.
Yeah, definitely. That is a real tough match. I've seen a couple of them myself before, but I knew that this area had never seen them. They usually last a long time, and then when you do get down to that last, 3 against 1 or something, you've got some awful tired contestants.
Of course, it can work the other way around, too. If you got that Tennessee referee in there, it could work 4-on-1 in the opposite way. And
That's exactly right.
That Tennessee referee, I'm not so sure what the situation is there, George.
Back towards this match, Frank, it looks like Steamboat's got his hands full with Nasty Boy Knobs. That's big 312 pounds there going up against him in the gut there. And I know Steamboat works his gut out, but there's not much you can do against that. Oh, there goes Nasty Boy Knobs.
It's a schoolboy roll up and underneath and over top. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. We'll come back to live wrestling right after this. South Atlantic Championship Wrestling excitement comes to Statesville, North Carolina. The Grace Park. Kurt Weintraub down in the truck with Catwalk Productions, and you, George, for having presence of mind to do something in the midst of all this confusion to keep the television running. I completely lost track. Let's go to the ring right now, though, and our ring announcer.
Now entering the ring in this tag team action, weighing in at 272 pounds from Pembroke, North Carolina, War Eagle Chris Chavis. His partner weighing in at 238 pounds from San Diego, California, Vince Torrelli.
Vince Torrelli, War Eagle Chris Chavis. This is our main event, George Scott, and here they come. The South Atlantic Tag Team Champions, the Pit Bulldogs.
Rough and tough, Psychotic Spike and Rabid Rex. And they're tough competitors. It's going to be definitely a main event.
I don't know about these two characters. They sure have changed in attitude, I'll tell you. What an attitude adjustment these boys have had, huh? Anyway, they're in the ring.
The combined weight of 486 pounds from Huntington, New Jersey, the North American Tag Team Champions, Spike and Rex, the Pit Bulldogs.
What is it? Well, George, Vince Torrelli was out here earlier, and he was talking about how long they've been waiting, how excited they are about this match. Let's hear it from Vince Torrelli and the Warriors.
Pit Bulldogs, we've been waiting 3 weeks for this match. And me and Vince, I tell you, we're going to give the Carolinas 100% out there. What do you say, Vince? You bet.
Let's see, you're pretty tough against Reigns and Ross 2-on-1, but let's see how you do against 2-on-2 with us today.
Well, 2-on-2 it is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is one of those main events that you talked about, George. War Eagle Chris Chavis, the Pembroke, Robinson County native, Vince Torrelli against the South Atlantic Tag Team Champions, the Pit Bulldogs, and there is nothing but animosity between these two teams.
That's true. The War Eagle, everybody loves the War Eagle. Every town I go in, they ask about the War Eagle, and I'm real glad to see them have the chance to take on the Pit Bulldogs. Psychotic Spike and Rabid Rex, as they like to be called. One tough team, but I think Vince Torrelli and the War Eagle, they're going to take them on. They'll take them on hand and foot. We see a good crowd shot there, some good South Atlantic fans there.
Well, you know, the Torrelli and Chavis have got what it takes. They've got the size, the strength, the ability, and they've got the heart. As right now, War Eagle sent in for the ride. He blocks a big hip toss on, I guess that's Spike. I still get these guys.
Rex.
I still get these guys confused. And Rabid Rex right now, very rabid as he doesn't know which direction he's going. And War Eagle Chris Chavis grabbing that headlock. Good basic wrestling.
Goes for the tag. Going for the tag. Spikes in the ring.
Whoa! Holy mackerel! Looky there. Psychotic Spike and his War Eagle Chris Chavis taking on the Pit Bulldogs, cheerleading over on the side. Vince Torrelli, and right now War Eagle got everything going his way as they send him in. Double in for the ride. Woo! That patented the end. There was Paul Jones' influence on that one, wasn't it?
Well, Paul Jones has put these two together because he knows they work good together. Their size is close. They're within about 30 pounds of each other, and they've been working out together in the gym. And I think one's getting to know what the other one's doing before it's even done. So
well, that's all important, George, in tag team wrestling. That's what's made these Bulldogs. You know, they're not the strongest, they're not the biggest, they're not the fastest team in wrestling, but they know what each other is thinking. You know, with your dad and your uncle, the great George and Sandy Scott, what made them a great team was not that they were overpowering or that they were the best wrestlers or anything else, but it was the fact that they were two men who wrestled as one.
That's true. Well, it was kind of like, you know, being brothers and everything. They knew exactly what the other one was thinking, and they had a lot of high-flying moves. And I'm real proud to think back to those years when they used to have the world belts. They had the world belts. Back then it was a record 6 times. And back then, you know, the guys weren't near as big as they are now. They relied a lot more on their wrestling skill, and that's what I see here in Mr. Wrestling Vince Torrelli. Back a couple of weeks ago, we had Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods on the program, and he dubbed Vince Torrelli Mr. Wrestling, and there's only been one other Mr. Wrestling besides Tim Woods in the history of wrestling, and it was a real honor. I was there that day, and I saw the chill bumps on Vince Torrelli when that happened.
Well, who would not? That's a great honor. Of course, you're talking about Tim Woods, former AAU, former NCAA champion, University of Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring you all this wrestling we can, but in order to do it, we're going to need to jump in and take a commercial break. So let's take it right now, and then we'll be back with more South Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Attention Civic Group's high school band and booster. You saw War Eagle Chris Chavis has continued to take a beating, George Scott, but they have not put his shoulders to the mat.
Well, he's got him now. Rabbit Rex is going down. Oh, there you go.
Oh, now there's that young man mistake.
Let's see what he does.
That's that young boy mistake. He had him beat, he had him down, and he took time to pose on that top rope. Those aerial moves are great, as your dad can no doubt tell you, but they are high-risk
maneuver.
Exactamundo.
There it goes.
There's a tag on both sides.
In the ring.
Wrestling. Vince Torrelli hits the ring.
Spike.
A series of rights, and it's now his body slams, and the Bulldogs flying all over the ring, courtesy of Mr. Wrestling, Vince Torrelli.
Vince Torrelli doesn't know where to go next. He's going after him. Oh, Chris Chavis back into the ring.
In they go. Double run up. Over the top. Big
like
double back.
They got him where they want him. Get Chris out of the ring. Get Chris out of the ring.
Referee doing his job. Chris Chavis, of course, you know, we talk about it. He'll be in Bishopville next Friday down at Bishopville High School. We got a sleeper. We got two sleepers. They got him. This could be it. They're in the middle of the ring. It's almost over. Bulldogs streaking down. And let's get to the ropes, George. This match is his.
Oh, they left the stud stable coming in.
It's Tex Salenger, 6'7" from behind. Referee Byron Richards calling for disqualification, I'm sure. But right now, it's a 3-on-2 situation. It's a situation that the stud stable likes to have.
Help in here now. I'm getting a little bit tired of this. Every match, we can't have a straight win.
Ranger Ross has hit the ring.
There you go.
And Paul Jones said no matter what happened, the Rangers would be watching. And there it is. The Ranger Ross has hit the ring.
Taking over, too. Going after him. One by one. Chris Chavis back on his feet. Vince Torrelli taking over on him.
Here's Chavis, Torrelli, and Ross.
Jones Rangers on top. Oh, Robert Fuller in the ring now.
Stud has hit the ring, and the sides are unequal once again. It's 4-on-3 in favor of the Tennessee Stud. It's 4-on-3 in favor of the Stud. And once again, Chavis, Torrelli, and Ross have gone to the wayside.
I'm sure we're going to see Paul Jones coming in here soon. He's got to be coming after his Rangers to take care of him.
There he is. He's coming. I see he's on the tape. Yes, sir. It's all it is. Jones' Rangers against the Stud stable. Rangers against the Stud stable.
Have a battle royal here.
That's exactly what we've got, George. It's like a battle royal. Paul
like
Jones,
those 8-man elimination matches.
It's exactly right. And I'll tell you what, if sides are equal, you can bet your bottom dollar that Tennessee Stud will call his troops to the apron.
Stud stable, take it in retreat. Just like the other one. Take it on.
I'm supposed to have Paul Jones with the clothes, George, but looks like I'm going to have to go to the ring to him. Why don't you take over?
Oh, man, this is great. They're winners by disqualification. Vince Torrelli and the War Eagle, Chris Chavis. Let's turn it over to Frank right now. I see him getting in the ring.
This is it, Frank. You saw what happened earlier. You cannot trust Stud in his stable. Let me tell you something right now. Torrelli, you remember a few weeks ago when he tried to sign you to a contract? Oh, yeah. And I said, don't do it. Because, brother, I know his kind. And you don't want to go to bed with his kind. No. Because he'll bring you straight down. So let me tell you something right now. This man right here stands for something greater than anything I you think of other than God, and that's our country. And let me tell you, Ross, Jones and his Rangers are on your side. You need help with the Bulldogs, we're going to be there.
Let me tell you something here, and this is the bottom line. I've been all across this world. I fought for this country, one end to the other. I defend this American flag. And let me tell you, rat suit sucking, egg sucking dogs, pit bulls, anytime, any place, you want some of me, I'll kick you.
Don't say it, don't say it.
Pojo, all you got to do is set it up for me. I'm going to leave it up to you. It's in your hand, brother. It's in your hand.
Right now, brother, can you see anybody right here besides us that can go to bat and stand behind you and your country and get the job done? We're going to do it. And Fuller, I want to say this to your Fuller, let me tell you something, Fuller. Your stable can go straight to you know where. I don't care if it's 8-man tags, tag matches, battle royals, anything. Are you and I, Fuller? You're talking about the guitar on the head. I'm not going to take it sitting down. You're fighting not only Jones, you're fighting Jones and Rangers. And Frank, that's all I got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter whether it's Battle Royals, elimination matches, 8-man tag, wherever you see South Atlantic Championship Wrestling, you're going to see Jones Rangers. But one thing you'll never see, that's Maniac Matt Borne. For South Atlantic Wrestling, I'm Frank Newton. We'll see you next week.
Stars of Wrestling comes to you from the shores of one of the world's best fishing holes, Lake Erie. Welcome, everyone. I'm Vince McMahon, and joining me at ringside is a man who fishes for recreation, but refuses to work for scale, Roddy Piper. You know why fish are so smart? Spend all their time in school, so don't flounder your life away. Stay in school, learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, and how to get